Every year in July, my church does this thing called At the Movies, where they transform their lobby to look like a random movie. Back in 2021, I made a full-size raptor. I actually met Jay Stu because they asked the pastor about me, and that's how I ended up getting the job eventually, was through that connection. So it's kind of come full circle. Now I'm making a video about the build I was doing back then, but this one's the current one. This year their theme is cars, and they asked me if I'd build a Lightning McQueen. So we'll see if we can bust this thing out. Anyway, follow along, enjoy the process. Trying to come up with a plan for this Lightning McQueen build. I was thinking about maybe welding up a frame and putting some wheels on it, then doing the foam body up on top. But then talked to a buddy of mine, and he said he has a frame of a car that he used to make the Toyota Pizza Planet truck last year. So I was like, well, I'll just take the frame of that, and we'll put a Lightning McQueen body on that. So I'm here to check that out, hopefully pick it up, and then we'll be underway starting to build this thing. Wow, she's a beaut. Nice. What do you think our chances are here, Samuel? Turn this into a Lightning McQueen?
Give us a 40% chance.
Okay. 40 out of 50?
That's not what I was
That's pretty good. That's not bad. I'll take it. 40 out of 50.
Okay. Hope springs eternal, I guess.
Oh man. We got this nice steering wheel. Widow TRD Pro.
It is really fun to see a car stripped down
Yeah.
this basic.
Yep.
That is literally just a frame with a cap.
That's all you need. I have to turn this into a Lightning McQueen shape. So this,
I like how that's a Lightning McQueen shape.
this.
Perfect.
So the cab needs to be like 50% longer than this for the race car type frame. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use any of this cab really. We'll maybe use parts of it to just fill in. Then I'm just going to weld on some framing to kind of make the main shape of Lightning McQueen, and then we'll panel that, add some foam where he needs like fenders and things that I won't be able to make out of the panel. So we'll see how far we get. I only have 2 weeks to do this, which is my fault. I waited too long to start this. This is a self-inflicted timeline on this. I could have started a month ago, but I waited till now. So,
which is important to do.
I mean, you can only make art if you rush it.
Here
we go. Cue the montage. Oh, it's done. Yay. Gave myself a few reference photos. How I'm gonna chop this up. Need to cut the frame and move the wheelbase so their wheels are closer together. And then we need to lower the whole cab. It's way too tall. And just add some frame and other random bits to make this work. I realized that after I set this chassis over here, that it's like 100 feet away from where my welder plugs in. So I'm gonna have to move this back to the other side of the shop so I can actually do some welding. Yay for smart thinking. Thinking smart. moving everything over here so my welder can actually reach. I'll get this thing tacked up. Ready to start figuring out the shape of McQueen's body. So I'm gonna make this jig out of this piece of wood and then pull the metal pipe, hopefully making, with the clamps, let me start over. I'm gonna make this jig and then I'm going to clamp the pipe to the jig that'll kind of make the curvy shape of Lightning McQueen's profile. And hopefully that works good enough where we kind of get a repeatable shape for both sides of him. And I wanna try and make him symmetrical. That would be nice. So I got this jig all set up, got it all in clamps. Oh gosh, it's bright. So hopefully it holds some of the shape. I don't think it'll hold all of it, but if it's even just a little bit of that curve should be good. And then we'll do number 2. Weld it onto the frame. I'll take it out of clamps and see what it looks like. Probably wasn't enough a little bit. Might have to make a few tweaks to this.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
just got the hood and some of the body, I don't know what those are called, rails, body rails. That doesn't sound good. Well, whatever they are, got the shapy thingies on. The frame itself, the chassis is like kind of bent and cockeyed, which I think will actually be fine because it's just a prop. It's not an actual working vehicle. It's just to look cool. I think if McQueen's kind of like tilted to one side, that should be fine. I'm gonna get a few more key pieces in here tomorrow, get some panels on, and then hopefully add some foam and start carving it, get the shape down. And anyway, check in with you next time. Day 4-ish of the Lightning McQueen build. I finally have some backup. Finally got Ben and Blake back. I'm gonna make some progress on this thing today. I have like 8 days before I have to have this thing done, so we'll see. This might be a very stock Lightning McQueen with not much of a paint job, but anyway, we got this little piece on here just to help support the panel that's going on. I'm gonna make one for the other side this morning. Ben's gonna start templing out the panels and then start throwing some shapes on this thing. And then Blake is here somewhere. We'll hopefully get some shapes out of him. Blake shapes are the best. Hashtag Blake shapes. Full progress of today. We got all the steel under structure skeleton put on that I wanted to, and then we're just adding all these panels. Ben's been doing a phenomenal job cutting out these panels, and then Samuel pop riveted them on. I think that worked pretty well. So just a few more panels to put on, and then I'll start adding foam, carving the foam. So stay tuned till next week, or in 2 seconds. That's our boy. Wow. What are you talking about? That's the biggest smile I've ever seen. You try smiling that big.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. Samuel and Ben spent probably like a cumulative like 2 hours trying to get the tire seated into the wheel, but it just wouldn't go. And so we were just like, screw it, let's fill it up with spray foam. So that's what happened here. Samuel is trying to figure that out. It basically worked. It's a little flat. Anyway.
Like some sort of alien growth or whatnot, but I think definitively I filled this tire with enough foam. It's incredible. I mean, look at this. This one's insane.
This is
Like, it went all the way down here, around, up, through. I don't even know how that forms. Look at this end. Look at this little, like, branch that comes off all the way here.
the mysteries of the ocean. Really.
Yeah.
We know so little about the deep,
That's so true.
but this gives us a little glimpse as to what happens in the reef, I guess.
I guess so.
Oh
Man,
my
It's
God.
got an arch. This
Well,
came all the way over here.
Honestly, this is cooler than the project I was trying to work on, so. Another day of foaming, basically done. I got all the panels I think I need on there. Gotta let all the spray foam and glue set up over a day. It's foam, even though it kind of solidifies after like 30 minutes on the outside. The inside's still expanding for quite a while, so I mean, it'd be nice to give it like a whole week, but I don't have that, so we're just giving it one day. We're gonna come back tomorrow, carve all this, get it filled in as best we can, and then I'm gonna try out fiberglassing and see how it goes. Back at it another day. All the foams had time to sit for about a day, so I'm gonna pull all these clamps off and start carving. Here we go. Basic shaping is done. I added some more filler to some spots, so I gotta let that set up. Spent a little time cleaning up, and then I want to carve in his little smile here, or at least attempt to. It's kind of the, I think, most make or break part of this whole thing. I think the rest of the shape of it is like, you know, people get the idea who it is, but if the smile is off, it'll just look derpy. I found that the orbital sander with 40 grit carves this way better than anything else. The belt sander was kind of working, but it's too hard to keep a smooth line with it, so I think the orbital's the way to go, but man, it makes pretty well all sanded down and got them pretty much shaped the way I wanted to. Probably spend a lot more time doing that, but I don't even know if it's gonna make much of a difference. This point, added a little detail on the back to make it a little more interesting. I got a little more carving to do on these window sill thingies. The foam's not quite dry enough yet to get it smooth. Once I get that smooth, then I think I just cover this whole thing in foil tape and then fiberglass. I'm gonna go home and get some sleep. Try that tomorrow. Got some primer on them, looking pretty good. I don't know. That sprayer is the worst thing I've ever used. But we got her. It's getting like super hot. It's starting to look like something. So I'm going back and forth whether I should attempt to do fiberglass, which I've never done before, or just kind of Bondo all the seams and sand it down and call it good. Really doesn't need to be super nice. All right, I kind of just decided I'm gonna fill everything with Bondo, sand it down, and then maybe hit it with one more primer coat, and then just start adding paint. I think I'm gonna skip the fiberglass altogether. I think it would probably make a way nicer finish and like an actual somewhat hard shell, but I think I'm just running out of time. I don't have quite enough time to get all the different things done that I want to do, so basically have the rest of this afternoon and tomorrow to get it all painted. So starting to feel a little bit of the pressure. She'll be a little rough and ready, but what are you gonna do? It's the Lightning McQueen that's been through some stuff. Yeah. Well, he's red. He looks pretty terrible if you get up close, but whatever. I am out of paint, so I'm gonna let this cure, and then I gotta come back tomorrow and do another coat of red and maybe get some lightning bolts or something on there. Woo! Last day of the Lightning McQueen build. I brought in some Lightning McQueen experts. All right, so we need lightning bolts, stickers, rusties, tie balls, big 95.
Yes.
All right, well, let's get to work. We got this carpenter's paper, whatever it's called. Gonna roll it out here, trace out the shape for our lightning bolt, and then we'll have a lightning bolt stencil that we can use on both sides. So let's do it. Another good picture of it. You can zoom in on that. That's our reference image. Yeah. Oh, the wind. Oh, John. Okay. Let's say about right here. We've got a point. Goes all the way up. Put the rest of it and back. So it is a chunky lightning. Do all the edges.
Dolls don't always have hairs, am I right?
Yeah, you not
There can
always.
be baby dolls without hair. Babies start out without hair, right? Well, sometimes they can start out with hair, right? But
No. This has been a segment called Fun Facts with Ezra.
I don't know. Right? Are we? No, probably not. Maybe.
Are you?
I don't know. Are we?
You got the phone.
Okay. So does that mean if? Wait. Never mind. So,
It's the longest clip of all time.
oh, is it supposed to be a clip? So.
We got the McQueen loaded on the trailer. I only scraped the bottom a little bit. Not too much damage. It's not bad. A little bit of scuff. Well, it's been a long day. McQueen is as good as he's gonna get. We gotta take him to the church in the morning, so he's all loaded up on the trailer. We'll come back and get him in the morning and see if the folks like him. Ended up getting Light McQueen done just in time the day before the first At the Movies weekend. The Life Church folks, they did an awesome job with the rest of the lobby. They had a whole Flo's Cafe and a bunch of cool stuff. If you happen to be in the Springs, you should definitely swing by Life Church and see it before the end of July 2025. Otherwise, you know, you can see it here on this video. All in all, it was a fun process. I was really stoked to be able to do this for Life Church. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.